I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. So, how to free your mind for excellence? How I freed my mind for excellence. It's going to be a two-part lecture. This is the first one. You can free your mind for excellence. You see, we church folks, we pastors, to make you quiver and to make you depend on us and our prayers. So we'll tell you that everything happens in the spirit realm before it happens in the physical. That is true to a very small degree. Very small degree. When the Bible says, fear not, it is you that will not fear. It's in your mind. When the Bible says, study to show yourself approved, it is you. When the Bible says, meditate upon these words and you shall have good success, it is you. When the Bible says, for they that received him, to receive him, it is your mind. They become the sons of God. The Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. The Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It is your mind. And so, everything is first created in the mind before it can link with the spiritual or link with the physical. So what are you trying to tell me? That Africa is the way it is because of the spirit, or it is the way it is because of the way we think? I will subscribe that it is more of the way we think. I'm using the word, I emphasize the word more, because some people whose minds are very calcified will only pick one aspect. It is more of the way we think than the spirituality of Africa. The Europeans, the Americans have developed their environments and their societies and their economies because of the way they think and less of the spiritual. So, how do you free your mind? Let me give you an analysis. Number one, there is a general fear of being alone. The Bible says it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make for him a suitable helpmate. The Bible says when 2 or 3 are gathered together, I will be in their midst. The Bible says 1 shall chase 1,000, 2 shall chase 10,000. Now, the fellowship of it is not good for a man to be alone, I will make for him a suitable helper, was necessitated by functionality, not fear. Functionality. Now, I relate with people for functionality. Functionality. But there is the fear of being alone. So, when fellowship is out of the fear of the future. Okay, let me just say some things now. If you see somebody in a denomination, recently we had Bishop David Abioye start his own ministry. Now, he was under Bishop David Oyedepo, very loyal, very committed. He professed it, he demonstrated it. But when he left, when he retired, he started his own ministry to guarantee his future. I suspect, I might be wrong, that his loyalty to Bishop Oyedepo at that point before retirement was also to guarantee his future and his relationship with him. And I've heard him say several times that when I mean he cannot rebel against him. So, but the funny thing is that if you check his fellowship today or his church today, a great percentage of the followership he has now will be people who were in Winners Chapel before. They believe that they have a greater future or a better future or a more defined future or the ease of realizing their future with David Abioye. That's why they left. And those that remained in Winners Chapel remained out of their feeling that they have a future in that place. Now, people associate together based on Maslow's second layer of the motivation. The basal layer in the pyramid of Maslow is food, sex, shelter, clothing, physiological needs. And then the next layer is for security and for society, sense of belonging. Sense of belonging. So most people congregate into a group out of a sense of the fear of being alone and the sense of security that when they are in this kind of grouping, then they have a sense of belonging and a sense of acceptability, particularly if the group is a group that has authority, visibility, acceptability, financial stability, structures, spirituality. And so people join groups. And when they join groups, I know I will provoke people. There are several denominations where there's one I sold land to, and I was listening to them. It was the general overseer that preached from Lagos or Abuja, and they were watching from satellite on his screen. And they were taking in what he was saying. The pastor just kept quiet. The pastor cannot utter a contrary view. At least I heard in this country where the son of a general overseer said that pastors who did anything contrary to the directives of his father were goats. A small boy calling pastors goats. Now, those people in that church, their brains are in a box group. It's called group think. The Sunday school manual is sent from the headquarters. The messages sent from the headquarters. The books, there are some denominations, you must read the books of the general overseer every month. You must finish a book. You must dress in a particular way. You must talk in a particular way. There is a theme for the year, a theme for the month, a theme for the week, a target set by the church, KPIs, key performance indicators, that you need to meet. A regimentation, the same thing if you join a confraternity. Confraternity, others is others. You must wear a particular dress. You must come and sail or gyrate at a particular time. You must have a particular language you speak. You must have a particular handshake, and people have a sense of belonging when they are in that confraternity. I did a research recently, I did more this morning, on some cult groups that have been banned in Nigeria. I'm trying to see why ritual killings are becoming more prominent. So people join these groups for power. They join them for the ability. I looked at the Owegbe cult. The Owegbe cult was to antagonize the Ogboni in the Midwestern region, the control of power between the Igbo-speaking part of Sadebe and the Benin-speaking part. And then there was another rivalry between the Oba of Benin and one other, his Iyase, and another person, So people join groups, cults, because of a sense of security, a sense to have a comparative advantage, to control resources, to control authority, to rise up. And then group think, you think the same way. Now, you will find out that if you belong to that group or any group, you dare not think differently. You will be seen as a rebel and you might be punished, because groups like that have strong authoritarian control from the top. Now, if you do group thinking, you cannot look different. You cannot talk differently. You cannot act differently. So that is the easiest way to conquer your mind. Now, only 1 to 2% of humanity generate original thoughts. Karl Marx, Engels, C.K. Prahalad, Indira Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, Nkrumah, P.L.O. Lumumba, then there's 2 of them, Patrice and Patrick Lumumba, then several, Leopold Senghor, and all that. You will find out that 1 to 2% that generate original thoughts, most times, I'm using the word most times, I didn't say every time, are people who stay outside regular group think. Even if they eventually form a cult, their thinking is different from group think. They control the group, but they are not limited to the thought of the group. In fact, they think above the group. That's why the group look up to them. Woloshenka's mind is far ahead of any member of Pirates Confraternity. I have related with them. I've spoken in the Barracuda Feast. I've spoken to them in New York from Nigeria here. So they are my friends. I have friends. Group think. So group think, you don't reason on your own. So Vikings and Black Axe can fight in the same university, in the same town. You don't know what started the fight. The people who will be fighting each other do not reason independently. So groupthink. So if you want to do well in life, avoid groupthink. Avoid groups. I have never, ever belonged to a confraternity. Never. I don't allow a group to colonize my mind. If you go to the class brochure or whatever it is called of my graduating class, my face is not there. When I went to do masters, if you look at the profile they prepared, my face is not there. In fact, I quarreled with the course rep. Hollered him when he wanted to mess up around me. My face is not there. Apart from Government College, Ughelli, Old Boys Association, there's hardly a group I belong to. And if I belong to a WhatsApp group, if I'm added, I make sure that I reason independently. Most times I don't contribute. If I contribute at all, it's only a funny things. Because I dare to think. I dare to be different. I'm going to do a video on dare to be disliked. So when you take your mind away from group thinking, you declutter your mind. You decongest your mind. You stand away and then you can look into society and view society from a higher pedestal with the mind of an eagle. It was the ability to open my mind, declutter my mind, that enabled me to become more creative and to dare to walk alone and to identify my potentials and bring out my potential. Somebody made a comment somewhere. How will somebody sell a hospital practice or a medical practice and go into ministry? If I was practicing medicine with the mindset of a medical doctor, I would still have been caged with my patients in Aba, because I would not have been intelligent enough to make an outstanding discovery that the world would hear from me. But I knew what was different in me from the average medical doctor, unique about me. And I needed, if groupthink, an honorable man will question why I'm wearing Ishiago, that is a predominantly Igbo attire. It is comfortable on my body, and I like this dress so much. It's comfortable on my body, and I dare to think for myself to wear it. Okay. When I said that, somebody called me recently and said that his mother died, and that they were going to bury her in March, and that they said he should buy a casket, and he earns 40,000 naira a month, and that I should contribute money towards buying the casket. The last casket we bought when my friend's father died at 100 was about 400,000, and that was because I went there with him, and the owners of the place know me. Now, I asked the person a simple question. Have you watched my video on YouTube on the reality of aging where I said that my children should not bury me with caskets? I said they should wrap me with cloth and just put me. Don't do a special tomb. Just throw me there and walk away. And he laughed. I said, you are talking to the wrong person. The money you are supposed to use to buy caskets, if they give it to you, the 350,000, you use it to do POS service, point of sale service in Nigeria. You can make about 5,000 to 10,000 naira daily, and you stop to be a security guard. But you want to take that money and bury it on the ground. I think like this because I am not a group thinker. I don't think like an honorable man. I don't think like a black man. I think different. I don't think like the average Nigerian pastor. So I can stand away and analyze issues in the church and make my comments, and then they will say I am attacking the church, because that's how group people think. Any person out will come to group bias and underdevelopment in Africa. So group thinking. When you are able to think differently, then you are able to make impact. So let me just use one illustration and I'm done with this video. Rosa Parks, yes, was a seamstress. And in those days, if you entered a bus as a black person, you paid in front, then went to the back seat. Rosa Parks paid, sat somewhere, and then a white man came and told her to go to the back seat. She remembered that same man called James Blake, Google the names I'm calling, James Blake, was the driver of the bus one day that drove and left her in the rain. And so she said she was not going back. Contrary to the usual group think of black people, she said she was not going back. She was not sitting behind. and she was arrested, charged to court, and then the black people in Montgomery, in Alabama, decided to boycott buses. Fortunately for them, there was a young preacher that came to town, Martin Luther King Jr., and he became the rallying point. And that's how the black people gained equal rights to a large extent. That's how Barack Obama was able to enter the White House. And that's how some civil liberties that black people have in America have today. Somebody who decided to think differently and dared to challenge and dared to the consequences. I shall be doing groupthink and the Nigerian situation and the attempt to use the cyber bullying law to intimidate every person. Dare to think differently. Dare to remove your brain from the hands of people. Use it for yourself. As a man thinks for himself, so he is. Ask yourself, are you a prisoner of your group? Are you a prisoner of your church? Are you a prisoner of your denomination? Are you a prisoner of your family? Are you a prisoner of your custom? Are you a prisoner of the country you come from? Or are you a prisoner of even your color? I remain Dr. Charles Apoki, the area grandfather. God bless you. Who are your friends? Who are you listening to? What is it? Who is it that is controlling your mind? God bless you.